Jennifer Lopez has been exposed by her former employees multiple times in the past.
Didn't J-Lo sue Benny that one time? She fired him and then she sued him?
I know Benny, and he's like my best friend, like I said, my creative soulmate.
Jennifer Lopez has filed a $20 million lawsuit against her ex-chauffeur for extortion and defamation.
And now her connection with Diddy has resurfaced amid all the ongoing drama surrounding him, along with numerous reports that J-Lo has been being rude to people. And these incidents involving former employees are not sitting well with the public at all. In 2012, Jennifer Lopez went on a massive world tour, and she was performing great, having a great stage presence and doing her thing. But behind the scenes, this is where things got kind of crazy and this drama started to kind of evolve. So a hotel cleaner named Prey Dodigi felt very uncomfortable and bummed out by this whole situation that went down. So pretty much she's a dedicated worker who loved her job, took pride in making, sure the hotel room looked clean, spotless, whatever it was. One day, while she was working at the hotel in Germany, her life took a pretty wild turn. So she was cleaning J-Lo's suite, and she's a huge fan, so she couldn't resist the chance to ask for an autograph, as I guess many would. But things went pretty south. As soon as she approached Lopez, who was just chilling in her suite, two of her assistants swooped in and they looked right at her saying, "You're not getting an autograph. Pretty much don't even think about it." So obviously she was crushed in this moment. She couldn't believe that this simple request would be so serious. And guys, to make matters even worse, a few days later, she got fired from her job for breaking company policy. So obviously she was heartbroken, confused, and she just didn't understand why this encounter with J-Lo had cost her her job. She didn't mean any real trouble, and she definitely wasn't trying to invade Lopez's privacy. So the whole thing kind of left a bad taste in her mouth, and she felt like she's been treated unfairly. I mean, I guess there's two ways to look at it, right? J-Lo's pretty successful. She's a celebrity. She doesn't want to be bothered. And in some way, I guess she did invade her privacy. But in the other side, it's like, come on, it's not that serious. It would have taken her 2 seconds of an interaction, But anyways, J-Lo has been often criticized for being, cold, not very accessible to her fans. And this incident just added to the fire, making people wonder if she's really a down-to-earth person as she seems. While the exact reason behind this worker's termination is still a mystery, the incident definitely shed light on celebrity privilege and the rights of just regular people. In a statement, she actually said, "A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone because of an autograph." Anyways, next we have J-Lo and Benny Medina that have been working together for over 2 decades, sometimes being best pals and sometimes fighting like cats and dogs. It all started back in 1999 when Benny became J-Lo's manager, helping her become this huge star. They were so tight that Benny was even chosen to be the godfather of J-Lo's twins, Emma and Max. But things took a serious turn in 2003 when J-Lo suddenly fired Benny as her manager.
She accused him of misappropriating her money. She accused Medina of not being a licensed talent agent.
It got even worse when she sued him, saying he broke California's Talent Agency Act. J-Lo wanted all her money back, plus an extra 10% for good measure. So the lawsuit shocked everyone in Hollywood because J-Lo and Benny used to be so close. Benny defended himself by saying he's always did what was best for J-Lo and that he was blindsided by her lawsuit. The lawsuit caused a lot of tension between the two. They had to go to court and argue their sides in front of the judge. The outcome of the case would decide whether they could continue working together and if their friendship could survive. I mean, at that point, I don't think it was. Benny even said, "The accusation that I misappropriated money from Jennifer Lopez is both untrue and offensive. Jennifer Lopez, by making false allegations against me, is now trying to add me to the long list of people whom she has used and discarded after she took from them all she could get. I look forward to the opportunity to have the world come to know the real Jennifer Lopez. I will defend myself against these lies and will collect from her every dollar for which I am owed. J-Lo eventually bought Benny and Medina back on board, and they stayed close friends ever since. And they actually work together till this day. So I don't know about you guys, but that's a pretty crazy friendship. So anyways, here's another situation. Jennifer Lopez's driver took her to court.
Lopez is suing her former driver, Makeup Minokin, for extortion.
Being a chauffeur is definitely a tough job. Just ask Kaku Minokian. A TMZ reported that Lopez promoted him to personal security and transportation chief, and later that year he ended up in a legal battle with Lopez's team. So this Iraqi-born driver claimed that Lopez promised him a yearly base salary of $72,000 with extra pay that would bring his actual salary to $200,000. And that's a lot of money, guys. So he actually said that Lopez not only stiffed him on the money, but that her assistant Medina verbally abused him. So I guess this Medina guy isn't as innocent as we thought. So Lopez countersued him for extortion, but her lawsuit was thrown out in December 2012, and the two eventually settled on terms that weren't made public. So clearly a lot of things happened behind the scenes, and it might be for a reason. Okay, so J-Lo's agent wasn't having any of it when she fired him. She didn't just fire him though. She also gave Patrick Whitesell, her agent at Endeavor Talent Agency, the boot. Apparently, Endeavor told her it was either Medina or them. Well, guess what? She chose neither. At the time, Whitesell was also representing Ben Affleck, J-Lo's boyfriend at the time, but he hadn't even been working with her for that long. From what I hear, Endeavor and J-Lo weren't exactly shedding any tears over the split. Endeavor has parted company with Jennifer Lopez. The agency said in a statement, "Jennifer is an incredibly talented actress and a good friend, and we wish her much continued success. However, as an agency, we're no longer able to work with her manager, Benny Medina. We thought it would be best for Jennifer and Endeavor that we part company at this time." Jennifer Lopez's assistant, Gilly, could not stand her boyfriend, Casper Smart. Gilly had been J-Lo's right-hand woman for the longest time, but Smart's actions were the actual final straw. So Gilly quit working for J-Lo in 2013 and started working for Mariah Carey, partly because of Smart's behavior. Smart had the freedom to do whatever he wanted at J-Lo's house and was horrible to the staff, which obviously she wouldn't want to deal with. It was just the way he treated the staff that bothered her. She also thought that he didn't respect J-Lo's privacy. He would go into her personal stuff and snoop through her stuff, which obviously she thought was unacceptable. And I mean, I don't think anyone would find that okay. To make things even more interesting, J-Lo and Mariah Carey were feuding cats in the industry. I mean, they have been competing with each other for a while now, and Gilly's decision to join her may have been influenced by this rivalry. So Gilly leaving J-Lo was a big deal. She has been J-Lo's assistant for the longest time, and she knew all the gossip. But the drama with Smart was just too much for her to handle. So when she quit J-Lo to join Carey's team, the entire industry was gossiping about the real reasons behind her departure. So Scott Barnes, the makeup artist who's like super famous for making J-Lo look amazing, found himself in a really weird situation. He was totally dedicated to J-Lo's career and everything, but then news of her secret wedding to Mark Anthony leaks, and it's like a bomb goes off. Everyone's freaking out, and they start suspecting Scott, which is like totally unfair. I mean, after that, Scott's life turned upside down. J-Lo's team started giving him the cold shoulder, no more invites to events, no more work opportunities. It was like he had the plague or something. Scott opened up about it on the Jeff Probst show. He said that J-Lo's people were avoiding him like he was a ghost.
And what happened was they got married, her and Mark Anthony.
Right, and it was supposed to be a secret. And somebody leaked the story, and I got blamed.
It was super hurtful and confusing. He couldn't believe that they would think he would leak something like that, especially after everything they've been through together. And despite all the drama, Scott stayed professional. He kept working hard, hoping things would get better. And they did. Eventually the truth came out and Scott was cleared of any wrongdoing. But the whole experience was a reminder that even the best relationships can be fragile. And clearly communication's key in these types of situations.
J-Lo is confirmed to be on the Diddy tapes.
Yeah, they came to Ben Affleck and they said, your wife's on these tapes.
That's right, your favorite Jenny, sorry Jennifer Aniston, is about to have a really, really long day. If these tapes get out, two things could happen. Either J-Lo is criticized further, or she gets the Kim K treatment and launched into superstardom. Let's talk about it. In the latest news drop to shake the entertainment world, Jennifer Lopez has been dragged into the news involving none other than Sean Diddy Combs.
She's serious? You know I love you.
The whispers of this juicy revelation have turned into a deafening roar, thanks to allegations from a former bodyguard that claim J-Lo appears in Diddy's infamous tapes.
Yeah, because whenever I meet people like Combs, they like to keep trophies.
As the gossip mill churns, the saga has also entangled Lopez's ex-husband, Ben Affleck, with rumors that they divorced because Ben Affleck already knew. For those who haven't been keeping up, let's set the stage. The so-called Diddy tapes have become the stuff of Hollywood legend right now. Allegedly recorded during Diddy's wild freak-off parties, these tapes reportedly feature explicit activities involving celebrities, models, and other high-profile guests. Over the years, the tapes have been rumored to exist, but never definitively proven. Enter Big Homie CC, a former celebrity bodyguard with ties to the hip-hop world. In a recent interview with Michael Francese, CC made jaw-dropping claims that federal authorities seized these tapes during a raid on Diddy's properties. The tapes allegedly contain footage of Lopez, sparking immediate discussion. CC didn't mince words. One thing for certain that I can say and confirm to actually be fact, because I know this gentleman's part of his security team, they came to Ben Affleck and they said your wife's on these tapes. Cue the collective gasp heard around the world. Could it really be true that one of Hollywood's most glamorous power couples were embroiled in such a sordid saga? When Jennifer Lopez and Diddy first got together in 1999, it was a match that lit up headlines and captivated fans. Lopez was transitioning from a successful acting career into music, having just released her debut album, On the Six, which featured hits like If You Had My Love. At the same time, Diddy, then known as Puff Daddy, was at the height of his influence in the music industry, running Bad Boy Records and producing chart-topping albums for artists like Notorious B.I.G. and Faith Evans. Together, they were a power couple who exuded style, success. The duo became synonymous with opulence and extravagance, attending lavish parties and hitting red carpets in unforgettable looks. Who can forget the iconic image of J-Lo in her plunging Versace dress at the 2000 Grammys with Diddy by her side? That dress became legendary, but the relationship behind it was anything but smooth sailing. Their romance, as usual when it comes to Jenny, was tumultuous, marked by publicized arguments and intense scrutiny from the media. One of the most infamous moments in the relationship came in December 1999, when the couple was involved in a high-profile nightclub incident in New York City. The incident occurred at Club New York, what a creative name, where heat broke out, leaving 3 people injured. Diddy was arrested for carrying a self-defense item and accused of bribing his driver to take the fall for him. Meanwhile, Lopez, who was present at the scene, was taken into custody but quickly released after being cleared of any involvement. This incident not only dominated tabloid headlines, but also tested their relationship in a very public way. While Diddy faced a grueling legal situation, he was ultimately acquitted. Lopez distanced herself from the chaos. Many believe this incident was the beginning of the end for their romance. Behind closed doors, their relationship was reportedly fraught with jealousy and power struggles. Diddy, known for his larger-than-life personality, often found himself at odds with Lopez's burgeoning career ambitions. By the time they split in 2001, Lopez had cemented her status as a bona fide superstar with the release of her sophomore album, J-Lo, and her lead role in the romantic comedy The Wedding Planner. In interviews years later, Lopez reflected on the relationship with a mix of gratitude and honesty. In her 2019 interview with People, she described her time with Diddy as fun and flashy, but acknowledged it wasn't sustainable. She said, "We were young and we had a great time. It just wasn't meant to be." Diddy, on the other hand, has spoken fondly of Lopez in interviews, even calling her one of his greatest loves. Their post-breakup dynamic remained amicable, with the two occasionally reuniting at industry events, but the shadow of their their relationship has lingered in the public imagination. Now, over 2 decades later, Lopez's past with Diddy has come back to haunt her. The alleged tapes threaten to drag not just her, but also her ex-husband, Ben Affleck, into a whirlpool of discussion. Adding an extra layer of intrigue to this saga is Ben Affleck's rumored reaction to the allegations. According to sources close to Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, Ben was allegedly shown the tapes by federal agents who came into possession of the footage during their investigation of Diddy. If the rumors are to be believed, the tapes have probably caused the tension in Lopez and Ben Affleck's marriage that caused them to get divorced. And who wouldn't be rattled by such revelations? Ben Affleck has always appeared as the ultimate supportive husband, standing by J-Lo through career highs and personal challenges, but this scandal might be testing even his famously cool demeanor. One particularly big claim comes from none other than Suge Knight, the former Death Row Records CEO, who suggested that these tapes were a factor in Ben Affleck questioning his marriage. Knight didn't hold back, saying, "I'm quite sure J-Lo and Ben are headed for divorce because that's a man who had a good life. She done brought all that extra stuff out, and now that guy wants out." While Knight's comments should be taken with a grain of salt because he's not exactly known for being a neutral observer, they've definitely added fuel to the fire. Of course, no modern scandal is complete without the internet weighing in, and this one has been no exception. Social media platforms are abuzz with reactions, memes, and wild theories about the alleged tapes. Some fans are defending J-Lo, pointing out that her past with Diddy is ancient history and should have no bearing on her current life. Others are gleefully dissecting the rumors, with some going as far as to suggest that these tapes could lead to an all-out Hollywood implosion if they're ever released. Then there's the question of timing. Why are these tapes surfacing now? Just as Diddy faces a wave of legal stuff, including allegations that are way too bad to mention here. Cynics suspect that the allegations are part of a larger smear campaign against the music mogul, with J-Lo and Affleck caught in the crossfire. Amid the chaos, one voice has been conspicuously absent: Jennifer Lopez herself. The multi-hyphenate superstar has yet to comment publicly on the allegations, fueling speculation about what's happening behind the scenes. Lopez has always been a master of managing her public image, carefully curating her persona as a hardworking, family-oriented icon. Her silence could be a strategic move to avoid fanning the flames, or it could be that she's working behind the scenes to address the fallout privately. While the existence of these tapes has been widely reported, skeptics argue that they might be nothing more than an urban legend. Over the years, rumors of compromising footage of various celebrities have circulated endlessly, with little to no evidence ever coming to light. That said, the timing of these allegations couldn't be worse for Diddy, who's already under intense scrutiny for legal stuff. If the tapes are real and contain anything remotely incriminating, they could prove disastrous for all parties involved. As this scandal unfolds, all eyes are on Jennifer Lopez. Will she address the allegations head on, or will she let the rumors fizzle out on their own? Whether the tapes are real or just another Hollywood myth, one thing is clear: the fallout from this scandal will be felt for months to come. As fans and critics dissect every juicy detail, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck's ability to weather this storm will undoubtedly shape their future. Jennifer Lopez is one of the most beloved actresses and singers of all time. But is she more infamous than famous? Let's check out why some celebs just can't stand her. If there's one thing about Jennifer Lopez we can be certain of, it's her love of a good endorsement deal. Over the years, J-Lo has lent her name to a wide range of things, from jewelry and cars to alcohol and makeup.
Pick your favorite red, and I put it in the middle.
But the brands she represents haven't always benefited from these partnerships. In a previous Fiat commercial, Lopez drove through the Bronx and discussed how her former neighborhood still inspires her. Fiat was forced to locate a body double since Lopez allegedly refused to physically return to the block she sang about, despite the fact that her relationship with the Italian automaker was reputedly worth millions of dollars. Owner of the Mott Haven barbershop featured in the advertisement, Eligio Cueto, revealed to The Smoking Gun that producers spent a few hours filming in the area of his establishment.
Here, this is my world.
The barber said that Lopez was not operating the featured Fiat 500 automobile, despite it traveling up and down East 136th Street. It wasn't her, Cueto declared. It was a double that looked like her. Fiat eventually came clean, but J-Lo's representatives remained silent. The corporation released a statement saying, "As you may know, people are increasingly mobile in today's world, and their work takes them to a variety of locations. As a result, we took the opportunity to film wherever Miss Lopez was working at the time to accommodate her schedule. individual. The affair became known in the press as the fiasco after that. What's next might be even more surprising. In 1998, a Movie Line reporter arrived at Jennifer Lopez's opulent Beverly Hills estate for an interview and was met with what he denounced as a planned scene. While numerous friends crowded around her poolside, J-Lo was relaxing and enjoying a massage.
It was all like nothing really special.
The actress obviously felt the need to let go during the interview, taking jabs at some of her competitors in the industry, so it's clear that the rubdown didn't completely relieve Lopez of her stress. Despite having recently collaborated on a film, Oliver Stone's neo-noir crime thriller U-Turn, J-Lo claimed that Romeo and Juliet star Claire Danes does the same thing with every character she does in response to a question about her opinions of the actresses she was vying for roles with. Lopez continued by claiming that she had never been a big fan of Winona Ryder, the two-time Oscar nominee, and she also disparaged Gwyneth Paltrow, who would go on to win Best Actress at the 2019 Academy Awards. During that notorious interview, Lopez asked, "Tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. Just wait for this next one." To a candid interview with Movie Line, Jennifer Lopez also shared her thoughts on fellow pop artist and actress Madonna, saying Madge was terrific at the former but not so good at the latter. Do I think she's a great performer? Yeah. Do I think she's a great actress? No. Lopez said, "Acting is what I do, so I'm harder on people when they say, oh, I can do that, I can act. I'm like, hey, don't spit on my craft." Although it's simple to argue that the Material Girl wasn't suited for acting, Madonna was still riding high on the success of her 1996 musical biography, Evita, when Lopez spoke with her. Lopez hasn't just disparaged one musician, the Queen of Pop. There have also been rumors circulating that J-Lo's brief romance with Drake in 2016 was really a marketing gimmick. The fact that Lopez unfollowed Rihanna on Instagram after the singer shared a photo of herself with the Grammy winner suggests that there may have been some validity to their relationship, despite the fact that the two have had a tumultuous history. Working with J-Lo doesn't always work out. She later insulted Drake during a live event in Las Vegas, telling the crowd that he was nothing more than a booty call for her. Lopez had previously disclosed that she and Drake were working on a song together. Cameron Diaz can now be counted among the actresses who have experienced a Jennifer Lopez's fury. During a candid interview with Movie Line, J-Lo took aim at Diaz, referring to her as a lucky model who's been given a lot of opportunities I just wish she would have done more with. Ouch. When the actresses were paired together in 2012's What to Expect When You're Expecting, it was said to have been a little awkward because of Lopez's harsh criticism of Diaz's professional path. These two did not get along throughout the shoot, according to on-set insiders. Now claims that Lopez failed to win over Diaz, who claimed that the pop diva was a nightmare to deal with. She's even said that Jen should stick to her day job, meaning American Idol and singing, a source said. She demands to eat at specific times no matter what. She stops work and has an assistant run over to her with a small protein and veg-based meal. Cameron is going crazy over it. The co-stars allegedly deliberately avoided each other, according to a source who revealed details of the apparent dispute to Star magazine. The whistleblower claimed they don't interact much, but when they do, the tension is thick. Lopez just acts as if Cam doesn't exist. When the two actresses went on the Ellen DeGeneres show to promote the film, which was eventually blasted by critics, they denied that there was ever a rift. Celebrity makeup artist Scott Barnes and Jennifer Lopez have a long history together. They hit it off right away when they first met in the year 2000 during an InStyle magazine cover shoot. She just goes, "I like you." I said, "I like you too." When Barnes spoke with Refinery 29 in 2018, he recalled. Barnes is a customer of Celine Dion, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Julianne Moore. "What are you doing on Friday?" she said. I answered nothing, since I simply couldn't resist the want to collaborate with the stunning Kim Cattrall, even though I was meant to be working with her. "I'm shooting my album cover. Wanna do it?" she exclaimed. We're traveling to Stockholm by plane 2 days later. In the years that followed, the two grew close, with Barnes, who is said to have been an inspiration behind Lopez's characteristic radiant skin look, becoming a dependable confidant in her inner circle. But it wasn't all fun and games. Barnes said that J-Lo once fired him because she believed he had given reporters access to information about her. This was during an appearance on the Jeff Probst show. "It was like I had the plague. fake, the makeup guru revealed. Barnes claimed he was quickly rehired after the real source of the leak was identified, but he never received an apology from J-Lo. I went right back to work with her, and we just never spoke about it again, which is even weirder. One employee of United Airlines claims that J-Lo's image as the difficult diva is completely justified. The flight attendant claimed in an interview with Star Magazine that Lopez treated him extremely rudely after he asked the well-known singer if she would like a drink. "I asked you, what can I get you to drink?" But according to him, Jennifer wouldn't even acknowledge me. Via Radar Online, she turned her head away and told her personal assistant, "Please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke and lime." She wouldn't even look at me. It was sad. She seems so sweet in her movies. As far as we are aware, the flight attendant who was ridiculed escaped unpunished. But a German hotel maid who dared to seek J-Lo for an autograph reportedly faced different circumstances. When Lopez visited the opulent Malaya Hotel in Dusseldorf, Germany in 2012, Prado Dodge was employed there. To put it mildly, she was excellent. I'm an incredibly big fan, so I took all my courage and rang the bell to get an autograph. But I was rejected by 2 assistants at the door. Dodge told the newspaper. A day later, the cleaning company that employed me at the hotel called and said that Miss Lopez had complained. I was fired right there on the phone. Lopez did not dispute that she complained about the maid, but she did label the claim hurtful and denied that she was the reason anyone was dismissed. Life is full of regrets. I have a feeling Ben Affleck can relate. Let's check out some reasons Ben Affleck regrets marrying Jennifer Lopez.
It taught me not to do interviews.
And the vision that was planted.
We all know Ben and Jen's tumultuous relationship. They've been on and off, and for almost a year now, there have been breakup rumors surrounding them. Well, this may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Stay with me while I paint you a picture. Beautiful people grinning and clinking glasses on a stunning summer's day in Italy with the craggy Amalfi Coast serving as the backdrop. The focal point of the gathering is an immaculately made up Jennifer Lopez. As she gets ready to take a sip of her drink, she gives the camera a knowing smile. This marked the introduction of J-Lo's own cocktail line, DeLola. Similar to other well-known Hollywood figures like Sarah Jessica Parker and George Clooney, J-Lo had aimed to create her own beverage line in order to increase the value of her business. Because her beverage business was one of the things that broke the camel's back, as a close friend of her husband Ben Affleck stated to DailyMail.com. It's also acknowledged that the beverage company was founded before they reconciled, and Ben knew about and encouraged the venture. They even go so far as to imply that in the midst of rumors that their marriage is finally over, it helped Ben, not Jen, decide to call it quits. Why did Ben find this prominent business venture so weird? Well, according to friends, he regarded his wife's sales of vodka and tequila odd because he was a recovering habitual drinker. After all, he had battled his habits for many years. He was reported to be confused when the label was originally introduced in the previous year. The fact that he thought her sole purpose for starting her drink brand was to make hard, cold cash just made him feel more conflicted. Since 2001, when he first sought help for his habitual drinking, Ben has gone to help several times. His marriage to Jennifer Garner ended as a result of his habits. Worse, J-Lo then embarked on a highly visible promotional tour, telling the press how much she enjoys drinking to relax and let loose. She even shared a photo of herself to promote the newest item in the line, showing herself relaxing on a sunbed while wearing a swimming outfit. Ben had to fight to get his life back after overcoming the drink. Ben's buddy said to the Mail. Knowing that he had lost everything, including his family's love, and that he would relapse, Jen made the decision to launch her own spritzer line in an attempt to get extra money. Jen and Ben, who featured in Oscar-winning films including Argo and Good Will Hunting, have reportedly already filed their divorce paperwork. They both understand that what they had earlier is no longer there. What appeared to be a moving story of rediscovered love for someone lost has come to a sad end. Before getting married, the couple separated in 2004 after becoming together in 2002 and getting engaged. Following his 2005 marriage to Jennifer Garner, Ben and Garner went on to have 3 kids before divorcing in 2015 and completing their legal separation 3 years later. J-Lo later wed singer-songwriter Mark Anthony, with whom she had twins which were 16 years old. 10 years passed during their marriage. After J-Lo's failed engagement to baseball player Alex Rodriguez in 2021, Ben and Jen reconciled, much to the pleasure of fans and the press around the globe. The next year, they were married in Las Vegas and had a second, more elaborate ceremony at Ben's plantation in Georgia, which was worth $9 million. The pair hasn't been spotted together months before the divorce became official though, with Ben declining to attend J-Lo's Bridgerton-themed 55th birthday celebration just recently. Rather, when the couple listed their $68 million Beverly Hills home for sale, he purchased a $20 million bachelor apartment in Los Angeles. But there were problems even last year in 2023. Ben saw J-Lo's April 2023 drink company launch, Dolola, as a warning indication that she preferred her profession over him. In 2024, their respective desires, his for a quiet existence and hers for unrestricted all-access exposure, came to a head. Even though he tried to give in to her demand for attention, their disparate views on their careers caused their marriage to falter. Ben was the one to pull the plug on their marriage here, a friend stated. He perceived this as picking right back up since Jennifer had led him to believe that she was the same person that she had been when they initially fell in love. Although he dislikes walking the red carpet with celebrities, he did it because she did. He could no longer handle her infatuation with fame. She had to be loved and captured on camera. He felt as though nothing remained sacred for him because she would reveal so much of herself to everyone. This was something she had to do. Her popularity had become an integral part of her identity. J-Lo's friends also report that she had altered her appearance and manner of dressing. She says that performing is more than just a profession to her and that she ultimately felt unable to give it up. Like with her previous 3 marriages, she made the decision to prioritize fame over him. In fact, it seemed like J-Lo was basing a large portion of her recent successful commercial production on their rekindled romance. Some even claimed that he was not exactly thrilled because her new album was all about him and he didn't even like her television program, This Is Me Now, A Love Story. That documentary, which featured Jen's account of her own road to love, was widely panned and failed to connect with viewers, costing millions of dollars. According to a person close to the pair, Ben was incensed. He didn't want her to do this at all. She asked him to invest in it and be involved in a project he was absolutely against. In the end, he was glad it flopped. It too destroyed their marriage. Ben didn't want their love story to be told, only she did. They lost 18 million pounds and it ruined Ben's trust in her. Ben seeing her spread their love letters on a table for others to read as she did on screen infuriated him. This is when he knew that she put fame above love. Indeed, during the documentary, J-Lo showed a book to the camera saying, "This book is a book Ben gave me on our first Christmas back together. It is every letter and every mail that we wrote to each other from 20 years ago and today." She highlighted one note that read, "The Greatest Love Story Never Told" by Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, 2001 to 2010 and counting. But a friend of Ben said he asked her to not do the documentary because he wanted to keep this stuff private and because it cost too much money, but she did it anyway. He asked her to pull back from doing red carpets and events so much and she wouldn't listen. She dragged him out anyways. It was never about him, it was always about her. The two appeared nervous at the launch of J-Lo's Netflix movie The Mother. She later revealed that they had clashed over her outfit choices, saying, "He'll joke with me sometimes. He'll say things like, 'Where's the rest of that shirt?' I'm like, 'Oh, this one doesn't have anything else.'" J-Lo abruptly announced to her followers that she was taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends when she abruptly canceled her planned summer tour. Ben was later seen driving his son Samuel to basketball practice in Santa Monica with actress Jennifer Garner, his ex-wife. The following day, J-Lo showed up to watch Samuel play as well as give her husband an awkward-looking kiss. While his wife has continued to wear her wedding ring, Ben had been spotted recently without it. And then there was their Beverly Hills mansion. Ben, it appears, just thought the price was too high. Friends remark that J-Lo believed that her twins Em and Max, as well as Ben's children Violet, Finn, and Samuel, would be pleased with the house. Nope. Buying that massive house was another huge red flag, said one close to Ben. He didn't want that house because it cost a ridiculous amount of money. It never felt like home to him, and he cannot even believe that he moved into the home. She didn't want a marital home for them to grow old in. She wanted a massive structure that cost more than anyone else's home to flaunt her wealth and her marriage in. She thought that this would make everyone happy. They talked a lot about this. Things also seemed to be generated by a decline in her profession, which she battled so hard to achieve in following the documentary's failure, a source said. She became less popular, less people wanted to see her perform, and this made her irate, and she took it out on Ben. She started to realize her star power was fading, and he told her it was her own fault because she was overexposed. She took the fact that her documentary and album was a flop out on Ben because, as her husband, he was the closest one to her. He asked her to take a step back, and she didn't. He wasn't a huge fan of her new album being so centered around him, and she thought it was beautiful. Notwithstanding the intense feelings surrounding the highly publicized end of their parents' romance, romance, sources indicate that their 5 children are eager to maintain communication. A source said it is hard on the kids, but in the end they are all pretty grown up. Enough grown up to be able to see that it was not working between their parents. The kids will be okay and will stay close. Becoming a family for a minute was fun, and this will always be special in their hearts. But J-Lo, who is 55 years old and has been married 4 times, is currently unmarried. Friends worry she ruins her romantic relationships. She knows she destroyed it all and was super apologetic, but it was too late. One said, "He tried for a couple weeks, giving her the benefit of the doubt, and even wore the wedding ring because she asked him to, so that they could get a little space from the hounding press, but he's done. He found his home and she's not living in it. She knows this, and now it is the time for them to both move on." Ben seems to be giving his divorced wife time to rebrand. J-Lo's friends claim that she altered her appearance and style of clothing. She's smiling in public and she's not acting all like a diva. Her social media is bright and happy, and she's speaking about her true feelings of being fragile. She's staying out of the spotlight and keeping her life private. Basically, Jennifer is now pretending to be the person that Ben thought she was all along. This made him fall in love with her, but he's not going to fall for it a 3rd time. 2 strikes, she's out. They are done.
Jennifer Lopez was caught being rude to people on more than a few occasions. These instances where she reportedly mistreated the people around her are vile. Let's get into it, shall we? For years, many servers and staff have reported that J-Lo is tough to work for. She has numerous rules, there are several accounts of her rude behavior. Some people may be exaggerating, who knows, but with these many people talking, it's hard to make excuses and it's kind of believable. Her drivers allegedly have to follow super strict rules or they will be fired. One woman posted to TikTok to claim that Jennifer Lopez is rude to her drivers. Kayla claimed her father once worked for a company that Jenny often hired to provide drivers and says her dad would refuse to drive J-Lo after hearing stories about her poor temperament.
And he refused to drive her whenever she came in town because of how awful she treated the drivers.
Kayla said that J-Lo does not allow the drivers to look at her, to talk to her, and that even if the driver looks through the rearview mirror, J-Lo will scold them. Lastly, she also allegedly has a peculiar rule. They cannot let her luggage touch the ground.
She will go out of her way to make sure you get fired.
She's also been accused of being a horrible tipper. Apparently, sometimes she doesn't even tip at all. J-Lo tells Ben not to tip at all, and Ben is very much hated in the casino industry for being cheap, being rude to other players, and both of them are notorious for not tipping. There was a server named Penny that claims that she spent one night serving Ben as he was at a poker table and she was not serving anyone else. Ben gave her an extremely generous tip of $10,000. However, once J-Lo caught wind of the tip, she allegedly snatched back the money.
She will go out of her way to make sure you get fired.
Apparently, Ben was so mortified that he sent a bouquet the next day and a $25,000 tip. I wonder if Jenny knows he did this. A flight attendant claimed that J-Lo refused to talk to anyone that isn't in her inner circle. The United Airlines worker said, "I just said, what can I get you to drink?" But even Jennifer refused to look at me. She turned her head away and told her personal assistant, "Please tell him I'd like a Diet Coke," and she wouldn't even look at me. It was sad. She seems so sweet in her movies. According to Today, J-Lo requires her nannies to work grueling hours every day of the week. She asks them to make sure they can work 16-hour days apparently. This one to me is subjective because it's not like you can force somebody to work a job, so if they don't want to work 16 hours a day, they really don't have to. People can choose to work these long hours or they can just not. Julia Wang shared her story of meeting one of J-Lo's backup singers, and Julia claims that the woman was part of a Vegas concert that J-Lo was performing. She was so mean to her backup singers, Julia said the singer told her. If you were pretty or if you were Latina, it was game over. She hated you. She further claimed that J-Lo refused to talk or even look at any of them during their time of many hours of rehearsal, except for an occasional eye roll or scoff. Julia Wang also said, "Can you imagine spending time with someone working in a closed setting every single day for months and this person never even acknowledging you or acting like you exist?" She shared that J-Lo's demeanor does a 180 when a man walks into the room. She only treats the women poorly because she views them as competition.
J-Lo is in big trouble now. Turns out she was at the VMAs after party in 2000, and that implies some serious stuff.
Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo. Her name has been coming up a lot right now.
Jay-Z has just been charged for raping a 13-year-old alongside Diddy while an unnamed female celebrity watched.
The new report claims Combs and his then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez argued that night.
Explicit photos of J-Lo and Diddy have just leaked onto the internet. There are many screenshots.
Will Combs' ex-girlfriend play a role in his criminal case?
Jennifer Lopez is no stranger to the spotlight, but the latest headlines are casting her in an uncomfortable glow.
Jennifer Lopez is going viral every single day because of Diddy. It's no secret, there's a million different reports.
The singer and actress, celebrated for her decades-long career as a global superstar, is now facing potential legal stuff stemming from events that occurred over 2 decades ago.
So much of my past.
Reports suggest that the infamous VMAs after party in 2000, which involved alleged acts by Diddy and Jay-Z, might have far-reaching consequences for J-Lo, who was present at the event. This revelation has reignited discussions around her connection to these powerful figures and raised questions about whether her involvement could drag her into a legal quagmire.
Will Combs' ex-girlfriend play a role in his criminal case?
The MTV VMAs 2000 after party was supposed to be a celebration of music's brightest stars, but it quickly descended into chaos. Reports from the time allege that Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z were involved in an altercation that led to multiple incidents, including alleged behavior. While details of the event have been shrouded in secrecy, it's widely known that J-Lo, who was dating Diddy at the time, attended the party. This isn't the first time J-Lo's connection to Diddy has been scrutinized. Their high-profile relationship was marked by glitz, glamour, and more than a few discussions in the media. Most notably, J-Lo was present during a nightclub incident in December 1999, an incident that saw Diddy charged with self-defense item possession, while J-Lo was cleared of any wrongdoing in that case. The renewed focus on the MTV Awards after party has brought her proximity to Diddy's legal stuff back into the spotlight. So why is this decades-old event resurfacing? According to sources, new information and testimonies related to the after party have come to light, implicating several individuals who were present that evening. While J-Lo hasn't been accused of direct involvement in any activity, her attendance at the event has raised questions about what she might have witnessed. Legal experts suggest that J-Lo could be called to testify if the case moves forward. Her presence at the party places her in a unique position, one legal analyst explained. Even if she didn't participate in any wrongdoing, she may have information that's critical to the investigation. The timing couldn't be worse for J-Lo, who is already navigating a wave of personal and professional challenges. With her recent divorce from Ben Affleck dominating tabloid headlines and her ties to the Diddy tapes creating additional scrutiny, this potential legal entanglement threatens to further complicate her public image. J-Lo's relationship with Diddy was one of the most talked about romances of the late 1990s. The couple, who dated from 1999 to 2001, were often seen as hip-hop royalty, gracing red carpets and dominating headlines. Yet their relationship was fraught with drama, much of it stemming from Diddy's legal stuff. The nightclub incident in 1999 marked a turning point for their relationship. While Diddy faced serious charges, J-Lo distanced herself from the incident and their relationship eventually came to an end. However, the association between the two continues to follow J-Lo, often overshadowing her subsequent relationships and accomplishments. The MTV Awards after party, occurring during the height of their relationship, is now being revisited through this lens. For J-Lo, the question isn't about what happened that night, it's about how her proximity to the discussion could impact her today. While much of the focus has been on Diddy, reports also suggest that Jay-Z's alleged involvement in the after-party incidents could come under scrutiny. The rapper and business mogul, who has since become one of the most influential figures in music and culture, has largely avoided legal discussion throughout his career. However, his presence at this event, coupled with Diddy's history of high-profile legal discussions, has created a web of speculation that threatens to pull in anyone associated with the night's events. For J-Lo, this broader context adds another layer of complexity. Her connections to both Diddy and Jay-Z, whether personal or professional, place her squarely in the public eye as new details emerge. As news of the potential legal fallout spreads, the public's reaction has been a mix of fascination and skepticism. Social media platforms are buzzing with discussions about J-Lo's involvement, with many debating whether her presence at the afterparty should have any bearings on her current life. J-Lo's been out of this this drama for years. Dragging her into this now feels like a stretch, one Twitter user commented. Others, however, believe that J-Lo's role, no matter how peripheral, should be examined. If she was there and knows something, she should testify. This isn't about the past, it's about accountability, another user argued. The resurfacing of the VMA's after-party discussion has reignited interest in the intricate ties between Jennifer Lopez and Diddy. At the height of their relationship, J-Lo and Diddy were a power couple whose every move made headlines. But beyond the glitz and glamour, their time together was marked by scandal and high-profile legal stuff. The VMA's after-party in 2000, now back under scrutiny, is another piece of this complex puzzle. While there is no suggestion that J-Lo participated in any wrongdoing, the fact that she was present during key events tied to Diddy has led some to question what she may know. Not to mention that her name has also been linked to the Diddy tapes, alleged recordings from Diddy's notorious parties that have sparked discussions about accountability and exploitation. Though J-Lo's involvement in these tapes remains speculative, the media frenzy surrounding them has created a renewed focus on her past with Diddy. For J-Lo, the convergence of these issues risks overshadowing her current achievements. Her career spans decades, with accomplishments in music, film, and fashion that have solidified her status as an icon. Yet the public's fascination with her personal life and its entanglement with figures like Diddy and Jay-Z have often complicated her narrative. Legal analysts point out that being called to testify in a high-profile case is not without risks. Even if J-Lo's testimony is neutral or protective of her reputation, her mere association with the discussion could invite unwanted media attention. Moreover, the case could impact her brand. J-Lo has worked hard to build a public image centered around empowerment, resilience, and a relentless work ethic. Being drawn into a legal drama involving alleged acts and past associations could spell the end. Jennifer Lopez's career has often been shaped by the public's perception of her, from her breakout role in Selena to her chart-topping hits. J-Lo has consistently positioned herself as a hard-working, self-made star. However, her personal relationships, whether with Diddy, Ben Affleck, or others, have frequently overshadowed her accomplishments. The resurfacing of the MTV after-party discussion is a reminder of how difficult it can be for public figures to escape their pasts. While J-Lo has spent years distancing herself from her early days in the spotlight, these new revelations threaten to bring it all back into focus. Social media has been a particularly volatile platform for reactions to the news. Fans are divided, with some defending J-Lo and emphasizing her innocence, while others question her judgment in past relationships. She's been trying to move forward, but the past always catches up, one Twitter user noted. Why is this coming up now? Feels like a targeted hit piece. Others have been less sympathetic, arguing that J-Lo's proximity to these events warrants investigation. If she was there and knows something, she has a responsibility to tell the truth. One commenter posted, "As this story develops, Jennifer Lopez faces the challenge of balancing her current projects with the renewed attention of her past. Her career remains as active as ever, with new music, acting roles, and fashion ventures soon to be at the forefront of the entertainment industry. Yet the potential legal entanglement from the MTV after-party discussion could pose a distraction, or worse, a threat to her carefully cultivated image."
J-Lo's love may not cost a thing, but being married to her has a lot of rules.
J-Lo has some strict rules she follows in life, and some of them transfer over to her lovers. Let's look at some rules Jennifer Lopez made Ben Affleck follow in their marriage. No smoking allowed. The well-known meme of Ben Affleck smoking outside and appearing genuinely worn out by life is something we've all seen. Although it's no secret that Ben likes to smoke, there supposedly used to be a rigorous no-smoking policy in the home.
Smoke-free zone. Here's hoping Ben sticks to this rule for both his health and Jen's.
J-Lo loves Ben, but she's sick of his filthy cigarettes, a 2022 OK magazine source stated. She didn't want to be a bother, so she initially put up with his smoking because it was his sole habit, but now she can't bear it. She detests cigarette smoke, and to make matters worse, she can smell it on his clothes. She would prefer that Ben not smoke at all, but he goes outdoors to smoke now, the insider revealed.
It was very much great and joyful and wonderful.
No female flight attendants. As a result of her ex-husband Mark Anthony's reported liaison with a flight attendant, Lopez reportedly forbids female flight attendants from working on her private aircraft, according to Fox News. Only 3 drinks when you go out. According to Cheat Sheet, there have been long-standing rumors that Lopez has a rigid only 3 drinks when we're out policy with each of her previous relationships. No cheating. Ben and Jen, like every other relationship, had no desire for cheating. They supposedly even came close to putting a contract in place to guard against cheating.
Another rule J-Lo has for her husband is no cheating.
The Daily Mail claims that after Ben supposedly spent the night with a woman, a no cheating condition was included to Affleck and Lopez's 2003 prenuptial agreement, which never went into force. A source told the publication the prenuptial agreement is to protect both their assets and says that if they do split, they can keep their own money, except if Ben cheats. What she does want is for Ben to give her some guarantee that he will never cheat again. He must get along with his ex.
One of the more encouraging rules, friends with Marc Anthony.
Both Lopez and Affleck had dated famous people in the past, but Hollywood Life claims that Affleck had to get along with Marc Anthony, Lopez's ex-husband, at any costs. Well, Lopez and the father of her twins are said to be quite close even after their 2014 divorce. This seems like a sensible guideline for blended families in general. He needs to be in charge of all relocation. It has been reported by the Marca that Ben Affleck handles all of their relocation-related decisions, including moving and house purchases, in order to maintain Lopez's happiness and contentment. While looking for a house might be very difficult, it seems even more weird to not divide the work equally. No more kids. It's said that as soon as they were back together, Lopez and Affleck agreed to stop having children. They do not want any new children. They are both past that part in their lives. J-Lo's connection with his kids makes Ben even more certain that this is fate. A source told Hollywood Life in 2022. They are focusing on raising them to be good adults now, and the party of 5 is enough for them. No big tips. Long accused of being impolite to waitstaff, Lopez even allegedly makes sure Affleck doesn't waste too much money, according to one employee. According to a now deleted TikTok video via Your Tango, a former employee of a casino told the story about how Lopez was stingy with her money, saying Lopez tells Affleck not to tip. He doesn't tip anymore, baby. You don't need to tell him nothing. He ain't doing it. Others claimed that if he did, she would steal the large tips from the employees in the service sector. The relationship between Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck was widely publicized from the start in 2001 till Lopez filed for divorce in August 2024. Many things have been said about their courtship and the rules they supposedly observed over the years. Lopez and Affleck first crossed paths on the set of Giggly in 2001, and they shortly started dating in 2002. Due to the media's attention to their romance, they got engaged and remained together till 2004. After getting back in touch in May 2021, they engaged in less than a year, and on July 16, 2022, they astonished everyone by eloping to Las Vegas. Following a 2-year marriage, there were rumors of a split in the spring of 2024. On August 20th, exactly 2 years after their grander second wedding in Georgia, Lopez filed for divorce formally. Their supposed marital rules revealed just how hard they tried to hold things together, and their PDA-filled red carpet moments and films that purportedly show them squabbling at events have demonstrated all the highs and lows of their doomed romance. Boundaries are crucial in any partnership or marriage, and Lopez and Affleck appear to have strong ones, but some of these alleged guidelines may have been overly stringent. J-Lo has done some shady things. Let's dive into why she might be Hollywood's latest celeb on the hate train. She zoned out during a Mariah Carey performance. Unusually, Jennifer Lopez seems to have held back when speaking about Mariah Carey, the celebrity many view as her biggest rival. However, as they say, actions speak louder than words.
I don't have a feud against her at all.
Carey was allegedly outwitted about a sample she was going to utilize for the Glitter soundtrack, which is how the purported animosity started. In retaliation, the diva's ex-husband, Tommy Mottola, allegedly learned about the idea and gave it to Lopez for a song on her sophomore album, I'm Real, according to the diva's 2020 memoir. Soon after, Carey famously responded, I don't know her, to a question about J-Lo, setting off 1,000 memes. J-Lo's response was funny, to say the least.
I know from back in the day I've read things that she said about me.
Lopez maintained silence over the alleged feud until 2014, when she said to Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen via E! That I've read things that she said about me that were not the greatest, but we've never met. But a year later, when Carey's Billboard Music Awards performance was captured on camera, the Enough actress actress seemed to get her own revenge. During another appearance on Cohen's program in 2016, Lopez clarified that she wasn't being disrespectful. She just couldn't help but add what many saw as a subtle jab. First of all, that was not fair with the texting thing because I watched a lot of it. It was a long performance.
If that sounds crazy.
She got wrongfully mad at a makeup artist. But Lopez does not always target the wealthy and well-known with her slights. Around the middle of the 2000s, there were rumors that someone had released information to the media about the celebrity and Mark Anthony's covert marriage ceremony. So the star effectively exiled her longtime makeup artist, Scott Barnes. Speaking on the Jeff Probst show in 2012, Barnes disclosed that the person he regarded as a friend ignored him for a whole year until it was established that the leak was the work of someone else. It was like I had the plague, he told the host. J-Lo did give Barnes his old job back again after learning the truth, but apparently failed to apologize for being so ruthless.
Kinda, sorta, but not really.
What might be more shocking is what Barnes said after. The makeup artist said via Radar, "I went right back to work with her and we just never spoke about it again," which is even weirder. He had previously provided his services to Gwyneth Paltrow, another one of Lopez's targets. Barnes requested that they stay friends for the next 6 years, that he was paid to work with the celebrity, saying, "She sat for the cover of my first book and we're friends. She's an amazing woman and she's like, I love you, you know, and I say, I love you too, we're friends." She claimed that all men under 33 are useless. As a man who is under the age of 33, I'd take offense. Jennifer Lopez took the seemingly improbable decision to use Tinder in 2018. All okay, sort of. Through a function called Swipe Sessions, the celebrity used the dating app to discover her ideal match, a fan named Brooke who is in her 20s. While doing so, she also offered some advice to the singleton. Guys until they're 33 are really useless, the self-appointed love guru proclaimed after going through numerous unsuitable suitors. Is there a specific reason Lopez views people under this particular age as unacceptable? It's a fairly significant coincidence, though, that J-Lo married 32-year-old Chris Judd on her second marriage. But after their divorce, she couldn't have quickly embraced this rule. In 2002, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez became the popular duo known as Bennifer, at the age of just 30. 10 years later, backup dancer Casper Smart started dating the triple threat, but he was even younger, 24 to be exact. She said Drake was a booty call. When Jennifer Lopez and Drake were seen cuddling up on Instagram in 2016, it almost brought the internet to a halt. The rapper's former partner Rihanna and her ardent following didn't seem to approve of the photo. However, the new power couple vanished within a few months. The 2017 song Free Smoke had a later allusion from Drake to their brief romance. "I drunk text J-Lo, old number so it bounced back." In the song Diplomatic Immunity, I Lost to J-Lo, he also made reference to reports that he had cheated on the Made in Manhattan star a year later. Prior to her 2019 stage appearance in Los Angeles' The Forum, Lopez herself had remained silent about the entire situation. Indeed, during the premiere of her That's My Party tour, the triple threat began to dance to her former partner's hit song Hotline Bling. But according to Hollywood Life, J-Lo stopped posing and joked, booty call, much to the amusement of the crowd as the line "You used to call me on your cell phone" played. Many believed that J-Lo hadn't treated the relationship with Drake with the same seriousness. J-Lo says that her first 2 marriages don't count. Before she was even 40, Jennifer Lopez had already been down the aisle 3 times. Nevertheless, based on her comments from a behind-the-scenes video diary to promote her It's My Party tour, it appears that the singer views herself as a one-time bride. While discussing her impending on and off nuptials with Alex Rodriguez, Lopez reflected on her previous wedding ceremonies. "I've never been married in a church. I've been married 3 times, and once was 9 months and once was 11 months, so I don't really count those." Naturally, Lopez fired her first husband, Johnny Noah, and then she divorced Chris Judd due to irreconcilable differences. It makes perfect sense for Lopez to want to move on from Noah. A tell-all book on his brief marriage to the celebrity was once attempted to be published by the former writer. Later on, Lopez was able to obtain an injunction prohibiting her former partner from disparaging her. A court order prohibiting Noah and his friends from publishing video footage from their honeymoon, which is allegedly of an uncompromising quality, was also granted to her. As late as 2015, Noah's business partner Ed Meyer told In Touch that they were still trying to disclose the tape because they had found a legal loophole. That battle, which began in 2009, was still ongoing.
You can't plan your life. That's not how it is, and you have to go with what happened.
We all know J-Lo's image during and after her divorce was not a good look, but it seems those days may be over. Jennifer Lopez is desperate to fix her image after divorcing Ben Affleck. Following her highly publicized breakup with Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez just shared an Instagram photo of herself having fun in the summer.
Jennifer Lopez writing in the caption, "Oh, it was a summer."
According to a source who spoke to Page 6, Lopez is looking to make over her image going forward. Jennifer Lopez shared a series of photos from her single Hampton summer on Instagram, featuring photos in bikinis and a close-up of a t-shirt bearing the poet R.H. Sin's word, "She's in bloom and unbothered, out of reach and at peace." We've heard that Lopez's close family and friends, which includes her longtime manager Benny Medina, are still steadfast. Regarding J-Lo's personal life going forward, however, a source stated she's open to listening to new voices of those around her.
This is where it brought me to.
Despite Jenny's marital troubles, Lopez and her former best friend, Leah Remini, made up. Remini just declared her own 21-year marriage to her husband, Angelo Pagan, to be over. Remini's worries about Ben caused the longtime friends to talk before Lopez married Affleck in 2022, according to a source. Remini cautioned Lopez to keep in mind the reason she ended their 2002 relationship, because he is selfish and not fully committed as a partner, our source claims. According to The Insider, J-Lo was so mad she cut off all ties.
There's always a thing that you don't see coming.
And declined to invite Remini to their nuptials. Remini did not attend the couple's Georgia wedding, which was also attended by Jason Mewes, Matt Damon, and filmmaker Kevin Smith. At the time, TMZ was informed by sources that the ex-scientist was assisting her daughter Sophia, then 18, in preparing for college. In July, Lopez and Affleck eloped to Vegas for their first wedding ceremony. Remini has reportedly been eager to get back in touch with her old best friend because Lopez and Affleck were having trouble and divorce rumors were making headlines.
Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez step out with their respective wedding rings amid rumors they have broken up.
They were friends for years, the source said recently. She wants to reach out to her, but she can't just call up and say, "I told you so." According to the source, Remini has now called and they have spoken, with Remini offering her buddy support. On the podcast Las Culturistas, Remini's friend Michelle Visage was questioned in September 2023 about Remini and J-Lo's friendship status. Her response was no comment. Page 6 was previously informed by a source that Lopez and Affleck are divorcing because they couldn't make their marriage work. In her personal life, she needs advice from some new people to add a new layer and get some new suggestions, stated a source close to Lopez. Throughout her breakup with Affleck, Lopez has been in the news non-stop, filing for divorce on their second wedding anniversary. The move, according to a prior source, was intended to demonstrate to the world that she is a woman standing up in her own way. Lopez had earlier called off her tour due to marital spouts, stating in a statement that she was taking time off to be with her children, family, and close friends. Lopez has 6 engagements and 4 marriages under her belt, all of which have ended in divorce. People was recently informed by a source that although Lopez still feels very fortunate about her life, she also harbors some bitterness. The Insider stated she's surrounded by family, friends, and her kids. She consistently maintains an optimistic attitude. She finds the divorce difficult, but she always manages to move on.
Hi, it's me, Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo is hiding some stuff that you may want to know if you're a big fan of hers. Let's look into big secrets J-Lo didn't want you to know.
This is me now.
In 2002, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck announced their engagement with plans to wed in 2004, but they canceled things 3 days before their wedding. In the end, they reignited their romance in 2021, and in 2022, they tied the knot. 20 years ago, I fell in love with the love of my life, and during that time, I was making an album called This Is Me Then.
This Is Me Then captured that moment in time.
Lopez is heard telling a crowd in her new documentary, "I hadn't made an album since then. 18 years later, we got back together and I was very inspired." Another source of inspiration was her Bible, a book that Affleck gifted her on the first Christmas together. It is every letter and every email that we wrote to each other from 20 years ago today. She says, sharing that he titled it The Greatest Love Story Never Told by Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, 2001 to 2021, and counting. To Affleck's amazement, Lopez put the book in the studio and allowed her collaborators to pursue it for song ideas. When Affleck learned that Lopez had given the book to everyone in her studio, he seemed stunned and taken aback. Affleck learns that the artists he collaborates with on projects with his wife gave him a nickname. I was like, you've been showing all the musicians all these letters? Affleck says in the documentary. And they were like, yeah, we call you Pen Affleck. And I was like, oh my god. Affleck remembers having some misgivings about Lopez disclosing so much about their relationship to the public at work.
It means you're not my type. Good night.
Good night.
I did really find the beauty and the poetry and the irony in the fact that it's the greatest love story never told, he tells the cameras. And if you're making a record about it, that seems kind of like telling it. Affleck says in a different scenario that he had to get used to her sharing their personal life with the public. He claims that Jen was greatly motivated by the encounter, which is how artists create their work. I certainly do the same things, but things that are private, I have always felt are sacred and special, because in part they're private, so this was something of an adjustment for me. In the end, Ben accepts Jennifer's project after learning that it's not really about him. I don't really love being in the making of documentary about my personal life, which is why I'm so relieved that I'm not really. It seems like I might be in this, but I'm not really. He says, I was worrying for no reason. The movie wasn't about me. It was about the ability to love yourself, and that love story is a lot harder to find than Prince Charming. Ben admits that concessions had to be made when they decided to get back together after 20 years apart. Getting back together, I said, listen, one of the things I don't want is a relationship on social media. Then I sort of realized it's not a fair thing to ask. It's sort of like you're going to marry a boat captain and you're like, well, I don't like the water. We're just two people with kind of different approaches trying to learn to compromise. In the documentary, Ben plays a major role, spending tender moments with J-Lo while the cameras are rolling. It's also disclosed that in addition to his particular role in A Love Story, Affleck is the one who speaks with Lopez for the documentary. When she does her sit-down interviews, her husband is in front of the camera dressed in a black turtleneck sweater with long sleeves. That's drip. Mark Anthony was offered the part of her significant other in the rebound section of A Love Story, according to Jennifer in the documentary. He was going to be the rebound number with me, the glass house. She tells wardrobe supervisor Sean Breezy Barton during rehearsals. And he was like, I'm friends with Mark. Mark Anthony and Lopez were wed from 2004 till 2014. Max and Em, the pair's 16-year-old twins, are shared. In the scene from Rebound, someone is shown harming their partner while intoxicated, but the vocalist never says who the song and scene are about in particular. The documentary reveals that in addition to Ramos declining the chance to star in A Love Story, Taylor Swift declined to be in the movie as well. There were also no cameos available for Jason Momoa, Jennifer Coolidge, Lizzo, Vanessa Hudgens, Ariana Grande, or Snoop Dogg. I don't want to force anybody to do this who doesn't go, this is gonna be fun. Lopez said before telling her manager, Benny Medina, nobody wants to say no to me, Benny. I get that. But when an actor doesn't like a script, doesn't think it's good enough, or is worried about it, that's what they'll say. The documentary demonstrates how Lopez had an agreement to be financed for her project, but it fell through. Since she had no one else to lend money for the project, she made the decision to contribute $20 million of her own funds. Making a movie with your own money is the most famous cardinal sin in Hollywood, Affleck says in a voiceover. According to Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas, J-Lo's producing partner, the reason behind J-Lo's self-inflicted payment was that she was about investing in yourself, literally. Amazon eventually purchased it for an unknown sum. J-Lo was also advised by Jane Fonda, who appears in both the movie and documentary, to withhold certain details of her personal life from Ben. In the 2005 comedy Monster-in-Law, Fonda co-starred with J-Lo. Fonda expresses her worries to J-Lo and says she feels guarded in their relationship. I want you to know that I don't entirely know why, but I feel invested in you and Ben, and I really want this to work, Fonda tells Lopez over the phone. J-Lo describes how Fonda is very protective of me, and she felt like you're putting yourself out there to get beat up again in another confessional scene. Fonda tells Lopez again how much she feels about her and Ben Affleck when she's in the hair and makeup chair after confirming her role in A Love Story. I get real scared, you know, with all that stuff about the Grammys and he looks unhappy and I'm like, oh my god, what's happening, says Fonda. Lopez replies, nothing. He was like, I've become the symbol of the beleaguered man. Ben would later make light of the incident in a 2024 Super Bowl commercial. Jen admits she didn't love herself. Lopez is quite open about the heartache she went through after she and Ben Affleck called off their wedding throughout the documentary. I feel like I lost the love of my life. I felt like I lost the best friend that I ever had. She said while also talking about her song Broken Like Me, and I couldn't talk to him for so many years, and that was the hardest part. In an intimate moment, she admits that she didn't think much of herself. J-Lo adds that she was able to love herself because of Affleck. What he says and what he saw in me, what he made me believe about about myself only comes from love, because nobody else could make me see that about myself," Lopez said through tears. "It's really touching. The world didn't think highly of me because I didn't think highly of myself."
Jennifer Lopez was caught holding hands with her new bodyguard. J-Lo, yeah, she is back at it again, single, ready to mingle. And I know it just feels like yesterday that she announced that her and Ben Affleck are divorcing. That divorce is not finalized, but you know, she was spotted with this new bodyguard holding hands. And we got some tea, guys, because yeah, looks like this man is married. So he's not just a single bodyguard that J-Lo's getting close with. He's a married man. Oh my goodness. J-Lo, like, is she shooting her shot here? Like, she's holding hands with him. And I know, like, the pictures show that he's helping her get out of a car, but there's other photos and clips that show them, you know, really close together. So people are thinking, you know, is something going on here? And that's why they've been flooding social media. All her fans, people, critics of J-Lo, flooding social media, sharing their thoughts about J-Lo and this new man. Why is everybody freaking out? Well, because he's young, he's a decent looking guy, you know, he's got a solid build. Especially her female fans are loving this man. Ladies just love him. He's actually been part of J-Lo's team for about a year now, so he's not that new. And he's been around with J-Lo's recent projects, you know, with her movie Unstoppable. And he's also been around while she was dealing with and still dealing with her divorce drama with Ben Affleck. But I do have some more details about that, you know, if there was some overlap with her and this new bodyguard, and if it had anything to do with J-Lo not wanting to be married to Ben, or Ben, you know, getting jealous of this guy. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff there to unpack. I'll get to that in a second. But for now, it looks like that this bodyguard guy has become one of J-Lo's favorites when it comes to people in her entourage. She likes to travel with an entourage, the same faces you see on a regular basis around her. But this guy, yeah, looks like he's become a favorite real quick. And everybody's wondering, why is he a favorite? Are we seeing a bodyguard that's just really good at doing his job? So J-Lo's like, hey, I want you around because you're really good at protecting me and keeping me safe. Or is there something going on here? We know that J-Lo jumps from relationship to relationship, right? Jennifer has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck, and that, of course, closed off that chapter in her life. I think she is done with marriage and serious relationships. Right now, a lot of reports are saying that she's focusing on herself, and maybe she's ready to get back in the dating pool for just some casual fun. Nothing too serious though. And people are thinking though, like, J-Lo, like, give it some time at least, you know, heal a little bit. Taking a look at some of the comments online, this one user, Tornado Chaser, says, I don't understand how women can move on from relationship to relationship so quickly. My sister is like that. After she divorced her first husband, she married husband number 2 in less than a year. So yeah, her sister is kind of getting compared to J-Lo here, and it is hard to understand. I know for some people they do it and it's successful for sure, but the thing is, J-Lo doesn't have a track record of doing this, jumping from one relationship to another relationship so quick, especially marriage, and having it work out. We just haven't seen that. There's been like 4 divorces that she's gone through. Someone also left this comment, said, you knew what people were thinking. Yeah, possibly this was a stunt by J-Lo to just stay in the public eye, get people talking, and just get some publicity around her. Because yeah, her public image had taken a big hit, especially leading down to the whole announcement of her divorcing Ben Affleck. And she released that documentary about the greatest love story never told and all of that stuff, as well as all these reports and clips coming out about J-Lo being rude, not just to her staff, but also to people in general. So there was like this whole media blitz against J-Lo. And this could be, you know, being spotted with this new bodyguard, this could be a way for people to start talking about her in a positive light again. Like, ooh, who's this man? Oh, I hope she gets with him. But yeah, he's married. Anyways, moving on to another comment. Debbie Wentink says, there's a picture of them on Legion Media where she walks next to him with her hand inside his elbow as if they are in a relationship. The way she used to walk with Ben. The bodyguard is married, but we all know a marriage doesn't stop J-Lo. Oh yeah. Okay. Lots to unpack here, because this is insinuating that because J-Lo is close with her bodyguard, that she doesn't care about his relationship, and she's like really trying to shoot her shot, locking arms with him. Like this, you could just imagine what this guy's wife, this bodyguard's wife, could be thinking when she sees him with J-Lo so close. And yeah, celebrities have done this a lot where they get really close with people that they work with, and right away, boom, they just cut ties with their spouse and move on to their new partner. Is this happening with J-Lo and the bodyguard? I guess only time will tell, guys. And another comment that I wanted to highlight was this one from Closet Energy Report. Says, she's trying too hard. Nothing will distract from her connection to Diddy. Oh, they brought Diddy into this. Cancellation of the tour due to poor ticket sales and elections fiasco that brought many celebrity clowns down to earth. So yeah, they brought up Diddy. People have been saying that J-Lo knew all along what Diddy was capable of, and everything that she's doing now is just a big distraction, whether it's releasing movies or canceling concerts, trying to fix her public image, everything to try to make her look better. Yeah, but again, still a lot of speculation with this one, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. Let's see what happens in the future, especially with this whole Diddy drama and how it's unfolding. If J-Lo is going to be caught in the crossfires with that. Sarcastic Marylander commented and says, has she picked out a wedding gown? Of course, alluding to the fact that J-Lo, it looks like she falls quickly in love with people and just doesn't take the time to heal. And at the moment, she's still in the Bel Air mansion, by the way, that she shared with Ben Affleck. I think Ben moved out and he's just like, okay, J-Lo, keep the house. But this mansion, guys, it is no joke. It is a serious, amazing property, man. And it's been up for sale for months now. But who knows, maybe she'll keep it around because she's gonna get linked with another guy real soon. Who knows? That mansion has a lot of room for as many men that J-Lo wants in her life. Also, rumor has it that he actually never worked with J-Lo back when she was with Ben initially. So this whole bodyguard working with her wasn't a thing at the beginning, and he was introduced later, I guess probably at the tail end of the relationship, you know. And some people are speculating that this did in fact affect her and Ben's relationship, but not enough details are out about this for me to make a decision on it. So again, that is just speculation. It's possible that something happened between J-Lo and the bodyguard that got under Ben Affleck's skin later on in their marriage. Or on the flip side, maybe Ben Affleck just felt a little bit intimidated because of this new guy. He was constantly around his wife, J-Lo. Either way, again, it's hard to notice that something is going on here. Again, whether or not it is a close bond and a relationship that they're building, J-Lo and the bodyguard, or if it's just a professional relationship and this guy's just really good at doing his job. Still too early to tell. I'll definitely be following this one, guys. Speaking of the bodyguard though, and I mentioned that he was married, so he has a whole life outside of J-Lo, which only makes things a lot more complicated. And it's kind of scary because J-Lo has a track record of dating men who she's worked with. Like even one of her ex-husbands, Chris Judd, started off as one of her backup dancers and she noticed him. They fell in love, got married, and boom, divorce less than a year later. So can we blame people for wondering if this bodyguard might have become her new shoulder to lean on? You know, sometimes when a woman is going through a difficult time, there's always like that guy friend that's like, hey, if you ever need a shoulder to lean on, I'm here for you. And he's like secretly in the background. Again, this guy could be 100% the most committed man to his wife, but I've just seen too much doing celebrity gossip. You know, that whole thing with Ariana Grande and her ex and Ethan Slater and his ex-wife and child, they just up and left, and he got together with Ariana. Yeah, this could get messy. And as much as I would like to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, again, I've just seen too much to make that assumption right off the bat that, oh, nothing's going on here. But I do hope I am wrong in this case. But hey, maybe we're all just kind of reading into it a little bit too much. We'll see. But still, I think we can all agree that if this bodyguard does stick around for the long haul, it'll be pretty hard not to notice if things develop into a little bit more between him and J-Lo personally.